Hello, welcome to the 3D market commentary today. Today is Monday, I believe, May the 9th. Here are the disclaimers in the top left-hand corner, so please do read them. Now, the 3D market commentary is a video we do every day, Monday to Friday, to accompany an email that we send to our free members. Now, in that email, we go through major world markets, looking at 3 key elements per market, hence the 3D market commentary, and we'll get to that in a minute. Now, in terms of places you can go for support, you have 2 different types of email addresses, or 2 different email addresses here that you can get us on. You can get to me directly on becky@tradewithufos.com. There's also support@tradewithufos.com. So different email addresses there. There's also this link here, tradewithufos.com/Becky. That link will bring you to this page. From here, you can book one-on-one coaching with me directly if you'd like. You've got apps and courses and also the general group coaching as well. If you scroll down, this will soon be filled out, and these are the sessions that we'll put on each of our live sessions, like Forex or stocks for me. As we scroll down, you'll also see that there is a question and answer section where you can ask a question if you'd like, or you may find answers to your questions here because somebody else has already asked it. So loads of different resources, lots of different support, mainly from this link here, tradewithufos.com/Becky. So now let's move on to show you today's 3D market commentary. I'm just going to move this over a little bit so we have a little bit more room for the charts. There we go. That should work out. Okay, nicely. Yes, that still works. Brilliant. So the 3 separate elements that we look at per market are here. The first one is market climate. Now, market climate essentially means where do we have the likely movements? Where is that market likely to move to? Up, down, or nowhere? We use an app called AutoClimate to help us with this. This is a free app on most platforms that you can get it on, and the app shows us where the probabilities lie with the different coloured dots that we see. Now, as we go through, I'll show you what they mean. Then we have buy and sell UFOs. UFO in this case meaning unfilled orders. Where do we have buyers waiting to buy? Where do we have sellers waiting to sell that could move price? Buyers are likely to push price up, sellers are likely to push price down. Again, we use an app to help us. It's called Auto UFOs, and we see these little green UFOs. They show us where the buyers are. We see these little red UFOs. Those show us where the sellers are. So we'll look at that per market as well. Then we'll look at market volatility, which is essentially how quickly we expect those markets to move. So we'll look at each of those elements per market, starting with the S&P 500, which is the top 500 US stocks. Now let's squish this down a little bit to see what we're looking at. So with the S&P 500, and by the way, we're looking at a daily time frame. On each of the markets we look at, we'll look at a daily time frame. So on a daily time frame of the S&P 500, we have a thick red dot on our AutoClimate. That tells us probability is to the downside. Likely upcoming direction is down. Now, we have buyers that we're getting closer to. They are between 3983.75 to 3933.75, and we have sellers quite far away, all the way up here at 4509 to 4432.75. So for the time being, we still have probability to move down, although if and when we hit these buyers, we would expect them to start pushing price up again. Whether it's a little small bounce to the upside and it carries on, whether it changes things completely remains to be seen, but they will get in the way of the sellers that we have at the moment. But for the time being, probability still to the downside until we hit these buyers. Now, in terms of volatility on this market, we would expect that the S&P 500 would move up or down in 1 year by 33.86%. So that means in 1 day, 86.14 points, in 1 week, 189.62 points, and in 1 month, 394.72 points, either up or down. That's the movement we'd expect on this market. So that's the S&P 500. Now the next market is crude oil. So let's load this and squish it down a little bit so we can see what we need to see. Okay. So before we look at crude oil, just to highlight here about the different courses that we do. If you need help in understanding how to trade futures, stocks, or Forex, or if you need to understand how to backtest, build a trading plan, or manage your trading psychology, we do courses in those things. Now, most of our courses also come with a 3-month complimentary access to the apps. Now, AutoClimate, which is this one here, is a free app on most platforms that you can use it on. Auto UFOs is a paid for monthly subscription, and it depends which platform you're using as to how much it costs monthly. Now, you can subscribe directly to the Auto UFOs. That's this one here that shows us the buyers and sellers. You can subscribe directly to it. You don't have to do a course in order to use them. However, most of the time, it's cheaper to go for a course and get 3 months complimentary access to the apps than it would be to just subscribe to the app itself. So check that out and see what happens, see what works out best for you. Coming back to crude oil, we have a thick blue dot. That's probability there to the upside. Now, we do have conflicting information right now. So we have a thick blue dot, buyers pushing up, probability up. However, we have sellers right here between 115.54 to 108.68, and they are currently working. Price came in and they were pushed down, price came in, pushed down, price came in, pushed down. They are currently working to push price down. So we have buyers pushing up and sellers pushing down at basically the same place. That means there's a fight going on. In my opinion, we keep out of those fights. We don't know who's going to win, so it's best to keep away, let it clear itself one way or the other, clear probabilities one side or the other, and then we go from there. So for now, there's actually nothing to do in oil. In terms of volatility, we'd expect movement up or down in 1 year of 54.82%. So in a day, 3.71 points, in a week, 8.16 points, and in a month, 16.99 points. So that's crude oil. Okay, the next market is gold. So let's take a look at gold. Let's push that down again. Okay, so before we look at gold, just to highlight here about the coaching and support that we offer. As I showed you at the start, there's loads of resources and different support that we give, and it's completely free. You can find our videos on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn and places like that as well. We also have a small monthly payment for an all asset advanced coaching. So it basically means you get access to more resources and live trading videos. But like I said, there's lots out there for free as well. So gold, thick red dot, probability down. Now we have moved to the downside for longer than we usually would. We have kept going down for longer than is normal, but we do still have probability down. We don't have buyers until down here. They are at 1815.8 to 1788.5. And we have sellers up here at 2003 to 1962.7. For the time being, we have overall probabilities to the downside here with gold. In terms of volatility, we'd expect movement up or down in 1 year of 18.71%. But in a day, that's 21.9 points. In a week, 48.21 points. And in a month, 100.36 points. So that's gold. Okay, the next market here is the US dollar. Okay, here we go. So with the US dollar, we have, let's do that over here. We have a thick blue dot, probability upwards. We have no sellers above us. We have buyers here between 100.675 to 99.81. Overall, probability up there for the US dollar. In terms of volatility, we'd expect movement up or down in 1 year of 10.82%. So in a day, 0.71 points. In a week, 1.56 points. And in a month, 3.24 points. Again, that's movement either up or down. Okay, last but not least, the last market we'll look at is backed Bitcoin. We'll just scroll that down a little bit there. Now, for Bitcoin, before we look at Bitcoin, just to highlight here about our Predictive Options Planner, our platform, otherwise known as TOP. Now, TOP does have options in the name, Predictive Options Planner, but I use it and I trade Forex and stocks mainly, also use it sometimes for futures. It integrates all of our apps in one place, so it's easy to use, and it's also got, if you are an options trader, extra and exclusive options, apps and technologies that will help you with that. So check that out if you'd like to. Okay, back to Bitcoin. Thick red dot, probability down. Now, we do have a conflicting situation here as well. So we have a thick red dot, probability there to the downside, but we have just hit buyers. Just. There are buyers there between 32,820 to 31,615. So they are pushing up as the climate is pushing down. Same situation that we had in, I think it was oil, competing forces in the same place. We don't know who's going to win. Let them clear one direction or the other. Then we have clear probabilities in one place. Then it's easy to make a trading decision. At the moment, there's just too much conflicting information. So I would say nothing to do here on Bitcoin for now. In terms of volatility with Bitcoin, we'd expect movement up or down in 1 year of 73.32%. In a day, that's 1,519.1 points. In a week, 3,344.14 points. And in a month, 6,961.39 points. So that's each of our markets. We've looked at all of them. For each of the markets, we've looked at 3 main elements. Market climate, using auto climate to figure out where's the likely upcoming direction of that market, up, down, or nowhere. We then looked at buy and sell UFOs, these little guys, to help us figure out where we have buyers and sellers that could push price up or down, respectively. And then we looked at volatility to understand how quickly we expect those markets to move, or how far we expect them to move within given periods of time. Now, the last thing to look at is our weekly economic calendar, which we get from fxstreet.com, and we filter by high impact news. We want to know which scheduled news reports are likely to affect the markets that we trade in terms of volatility, make them move more. Now, today looks like it's all day. Of course, it's Putin's Victory Day speech, which could, of course, affect quite a few different things, quite a few different markets. So be aware of that. Nothing again until tomorrow evening, and that's on Chinese markets. So just be aware that the news in Russia today, or the Victory Day in Russia today, may affect markets, obviously depending on what's said and what's happening. So be aware of that. Okay, now if you have any questions, you can email me or go to tradewithufos.com/Becky. From here, you can get apps if you want, courses, coaching, one-on-one coaching if you'd like. You can track my live trades once we've started using this. And if you scroll to the bottom, there's a question and answer section that you can ask a question in, or you may find answers to your questions that somebody else has already asked. So lots of resources, lots of help. Please use it if you need it. I will see you back on Thursday, I believe, is my next session. So I'll see you then. Otherwise, guys, have a great start to your trading week. Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.